So this is Integrated 2 MA, Chapter 1, D-Day number 1. And I'm just going to be going through these problems to make sure everyone is ready for our Chapter 1 test. So on this first problem here, we are told that this is an equilateral triangle, and we need to write an equation for x, and then we have to find the perimeter. So for this, since this is an equilateral triangle, that means that this and this, well, all three sides, but these two sides in particular, are equal to each other. So I can write 4x minus 3 is equal to 2x plus 11 and solve. So I'm going to minus 2x. I'm going to get 2x minus 3 equals 11. I'm going to add 3 to both sides, so I get 2x equal to 14. I'm going to divide by 2, so I get x is equal to 7. So x is 7. Then I am going to put in this 7 in for my x into either equation. So let's say I do it into the 4x minus 3. So 4 times 7 minus 3, that's going to be 28 minus 3, which is 25. Now, if I would have put it into this one here, 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 11 is also 25. So basically, my perimeter is going to be 3 times 25 because I have all three sides being 25, which is going to be 75 units. On number 2, on this one, we're trying to figure out the perimeter of this. So I'm just going to kind of color code things. So this is 6 and this is 6. Okay, so I've got 6 on both sides. And this is going to be 6 plus 4, which is 10, plus 5, which is 15. So that blue here is 15, which means all the way across this is also 15. And then I have this is 2, and this is going to be 2. So we're going to add all these up. So I'm basically going to have 2 plus 2, which is 4, 6 plus 6, which is 12, 15 plus 15, which is 30. And when I add up all of that, I am going to get 16 plus 30, which is 46 as my answer. Okay, on this, we have to name the shapes, and then we're going to put them into the Venn diagram here. So let me kind of zoom in here. So this one is a quadrilateral. This one is a kite. Rectangle. And this is a trapezoid, but it does have these right angles here. So this is going to be a right trapezoid. And let's see, this one is going to be an isosceles triangle. And this is going to be a rhombus. A rhombus, by definition, is a quadrilateral where all 4 sides are the same. And so that's all of them. Okay, so now looking at these, we want to figure out which ones have reflectional symmetry and which ones have at least one pair of parallel sides. Okay, so reflectional symmetry, that is where if I fold it in half, it's going to be the same on both sides. So kite, rectangle will have that, isosceles triangle will have that, and a rhombus will have that. Okay, so all of those ones. Okay, so let me just kind of highlight here. Oops. Let me kind of highlight. Okay, so ones that have reflectional symmetry. Okay, so kite, rectangle, isosceles triangle, and rhombus. Okay, and then ones that have at least one pair of parallel sides. So a rectangle, a right trapezoid, and a rhombus. Okay. So looking at this, the quadrilateral is not going to be in any of these. So I'm going to have A outside. And the ones that are going to be, let me just kind of circle this. So this is my reflectional symmetry. This is my at least one pair of parallel sides. Okay. So let's see. In A, and here, let me do it this way. I'm going to put, you redo this. Give me one sec. Okay. So this one here, just change that to, let's say, black. Okay. And then for the ones that are just in the purple only, that's going to be B, which is kite. It's going to be E, which is isosceles triangle. The things that are going to be just in the green is going to be our right trapezoid, which is D. And the things that are in both, okay, I'll write that in, let's say, I'll do it in this blue, okay? So that is going to be our rectangle and our rhombus. And let's see, I need to make sure I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now looking at this, we want to answer these questions. I'm just going to leave these as fractions. So there's 6 shapes. And we want to find the probability of the following. A quadrilateral. So a quadrilateral, let me just kind of show the quadrilaterals. So this is a quadrilateral. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quadrilaterals. Okay. So we have 5 out of 6. A figure with at least two equal sides. Okay, so the ones that have at least 2 equal sides. Let's see, not a quadrilateral, a kite, a rectangle, so that's 2, an isosceles, so 3, 4 for a rhombus. So that's going to be 4 out of 6. A triangle, so let's see, triangle, we have 1. So that's going to be 1 out of 6. And a figure with 6 sides. None of these have 6 sides. So that is going to be 0 out of 6 or 0. Okay, on number 5, we're going to plot the point. -1, 0. So that's going to be right here. And 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I am going to connect it. Okay. And that is going to be my line segment. And then they want us to draw a sloped triangle. So drawing a sloped triangle, come out to here. I'm going to come down to here. Okay, so let's see. I end up having that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so slope is rise over run. This is change of y, and this is change of x. And so slope is change of y over change of x. So it's going to be 6 over 6 or 1. To find the length of AB, I am going to be using the idea of Pythagorean theorem. So I have a 6 and a 6 as my sides, and I need to find my third side. So I'm going to go 6 squared plus 6 squared equals, let's call this d squared. So I'm going to have 36 plus 36, which is going to end up being 72, is equal to d squared. And so the square root of 72 is my d. And if I put that into my calculator, let's see, square root of 72, I end up with about an 8.5, let's say. So that's going to be about an 8.5. So then my perimeter, I'm going to take my 3 sides, 6 plus 8.5, which is going to be 12 plus 8.5, or 20.5 units. Okay, on number 6, we know the perimeter is 53, find the length of AC. So I have a 30-degree angle, I have a 75-degree angle, I need to find this. So I know that in a triangle, the angles add up to 180 degrees. So I'm basically going to take 180 minus 75 minus 30 to get my missing angle. Now 180 minus 75 is 105, and 105 minus 30 is 75. So this is going to be 75 degrees. Now looking at this, this is 75, this is 75, this is going to be isosceles. So what that means is that this side here is going to be the same as this side here. Okay, so I can write that this is 3x plus 4, because this side and this side have to be the same. So now I'm going to add up all 3 sides. So I am going to take this 3x plus 4 plus 3x plus 4 plus 2x minus 3. And so adding that together, I get a 8x plus 5 is equal to 53, and then we solve. So 8x is equal to 48. So x is equal to 6. And then what they want us to find is the length of AC. This is the length of AC. So I'm going to plug this right into this equation or expression. So I am going to have, let's change the color here. 3 times 6 plus 4, 18 plus 4, 22. That is my answer for the length of AC. Okay, so when we're doing this percent decrease, 25% decrease, 100% minus 25% is 75%, which is 0.75 for a multiplier. So that's my multiplier, 0.75. We're going to write a function. So f of t is equal to 2,000, which is our initial value, times our multiplier, which is 0.75 to the power t. And if we want to know what it's going to be worth 3 years from now, we're going to take 2,000 times 0.75 and raise it to the power 3. And so let's see, 2,000 times 0.75 raised to the power 3 is $843.75. So 843.75. So 843.75. So $843.75. So on number 8, we're just going to solve. So I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to get 4 minus 10x. And a negative 2 times a negative 6 is a positive 12 equals 2 plus 8x. What I'm going to do is combine like terms. So on this side of the equal, I have my 4 and I have my 12, which I can add up. And I'm going to end up with 16 minus 10x is equal to 2 plus 8x. I'm going to add 10x to both sides. So that's going to give me 18x. I'm going to minus 2, which is going to give me 14. I get 14 is equal to 18x. I'm going to divide both sides by 18. And so when I reduce by 2, I get 7/9 as my answer. Now on letter B, you have a fraction equal fraction, we can cross multiply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 5 times x, which is 5x, equal, and I'm going to multiply 3 with the 4x minus 1. And so I'm going to get 3 times 4x minus 1. And then I'm going to work that out. So I'm going to get 5x is equal to 12x minus 3. I'm going to add, well, here, I'm going to subtract 12x from both sides. So I'm going to get a negative 7x is equal to a negative 3. I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 7. So I get x is equal to 3/7 as my answer. Okay, so on these problems, so let me just kind of zoom in on this one. So on this one, what I would pay attention to is I have parallel lines. So this line and this line cut by a transversal. So here's my transversal. And so that means alternate interior angles are equal. So this angle and this angle are both going to be equal. So they're both going to be x, y, because when you have parallel lines cut by a transversal, alternate interior angles are congruent. That's the justification for that. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to look at this triangle that I'm coloring green. And in this triangle, I know that all the angles in a triangle add to 180. So I'm going to take my x plus my 90 plus my 62 equals 180. And let's see, when I do that, I'm going to get 90 from both sides will be x plus 62 equals 90. And so I'm going to get 28 when I solve that as my answer. And why could I write this? I call it triangle angle sum theorem, where it basically states that angles in a triangle add to 180. Okay, on B, again, we have parallel lines cut by a transversal. And then that means that these corresponding angles are the same. So I can say 4x minus 14 is equal to 3x plus 16. I'm going to minus 3x, so I get 2x minus 14 equals 16. I'm going to add 14 to both sides, so I get 30. I divide by 30 and I get 15. And the reason for this is corresponding angles. And again, I'm talking about parallel lines cut by a transversal. Then corresponding angles are congruent. On C, I have intersecting lines. And when I have intersecting lines, then the opposite angles are congruent. So I'm going to say 8x minus 19 is equal to 4x plus 21. I'm going to minus 4x from both sides. I am going to add 19 to both sides, so I get 40. And so I get x is equal to 10. And again, y? Vertical angles are congruent. And so again, I found the x, I gave reasons, justifications. Okay, so make sure you give justifications on all of these types of problems. Okay, so on 10, I know the perimeter is 57. So I'm going to add all three sides. So I'm going to have 3x plus 4 plus 4x minus 1 plus 5x minus 6 equals 57. Or I can just come through and combine like terms. And so I can take my 3x and my 4x and my 5x and add those up. And when I do add those up, I am going to get 12x. And then I'm going to take my plus 4 and my minus 1, which is going to be 3, and my minus 6, which is going to be a negative 3. And so I get minus 3 is equal to 57. I add 3 to both sides, so I get 12x is equal to 60. So x is equal to 5. So that's x. Now to find the length of the sides, I'm going to put 5 in for each of them. So when I put 5 in over here, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 4 is 19. When I put 5 in here, 4 times 5 is 20, minus 1 is 19. And when I put 5 in here, 25 minus 6 is 19. So all the sides are 19, 19, 19. And what does that mean this is? Equilateral triangle, because all the sides are the same. On 11, so I'm going to take 5x times 2x, which is 10x squared. 2x times negative 3, which is a negative 6x. A 4 times 5x, which is a 20x. A 4 times negative 3, which is a negative 12. And then we're going to write areas of product equal areas of sum. So areas of product is your outside, 5x minus 3 times 2x plus 4 equal, and areas of sum is when we add up. So we get 10x squared, and then I'm going to combine my 20x minus 6x, which is a 14x, and then minus 12. And on the last problem here, be careful when you split this. You want to split it so that's something that you can figure out. So I noticed that this is a 7 and this is an x. So when I split this, the area here is going to be 7x. And this is a 6 and this is an x. So when I multiply this together, this is going to be 6x. So my area is going to be 7x plus 6x, which is 13x. Now my perimeter is going to be all the way around. So on this side, I have a 7, and this are going to make a 7. So I have 14 so far. And then this is an x, this is a 6, so that's going to be an x plus 6, which means that this is going to be an x plus 6. And so I'm going to combine like terms. So x and x gets me 2x. 7 and 6 and 7 and 6, that's going to be a 13 and 13, which is a 26. And that's the end of this video.